Were the pyramids built by slaves, or was there any supernatural power involved in their construction? Welcome to Education Technology. Please subscribe to my channel and press the bell icon and hit the like button. The construction of the pyramids has fascinated people for thousands of years, and as a result, many myths and legends have arisen about how they were built. Some of the most common myths and misconceptions about the construction of the pyramids include: slaves built the pyramids. This is a popular myth that has been perpetuated in movies and books, but there is no evidence to support the claim that slaves built the pyramids. While it is true that the workforce was large and included people from all walks of life, including skilled laborers, craftsmen, and engineers, it is unlikely that slaves were used in their construction. The pyramids were built by aliens. This is a persistent and unfounded myth that suggests that the pyramids were built with the help of extraterrestrial beings. There is no scientific evidence to support this claim, and most scholars agree that the pyramids were built by human beings using advanced technologies and tools. The workers were forced to work against their will. While it is true that the construction of the pyramids was a massive undertaking that required the mobilization of a large workforce, there is no evidence to suggest that the workers were forced to work against their will. Many of the workers were likely volunteers or were conscripted to work on the project as part of their civic duties. The pyramids were built in a short time. While the construction of the pyramids was an impressive achievement, it was not accomplished in a short time. The construction of the Great Pyramid of Giza, for example, took around 20 years to complete. The workers were treated poorly. There is no evidence to support the claim that the workers who built the pyramids were treated poorly. In fact, the workers were likely well fed and well cared for, as evidenced by the discovery of a large cemetery near the Great Pyramid that contained the remains of workers who were buried with food and other provisions. While the construction of the pyramids remains a mystery in many ways, it is important to separate fact from fiction and to rely on archaeological and historical evidence to understand how they were built. The ancient Egyptians built pyramids as tombs for their pharaohs and queens, starting from the 3rd dynasty, around 2630 BCE, until the end of the Old Kingdom period, around 2180 BCE. The construction of the pyramids involved a massive workforce, including skilled architects, engineers, and laborers. The process of building a pyramid was a complex and time-consuming undertaking that involved several stages. Site selection. The first step was to select a suitable location for the pyramid. The site had to be on high ground and close to the Nile River to facilitate the transportation of building materials. Quarrying and transportation of stone. The limestone used for the outer casing of the pyramid was quarried from the nearby hills. The stone was then transported on sledges pulled by oxen or on barges along the Nile River. Preparation of the foundation. A trench was dug and filled with gravel to create a level foundation for the pyramid. Building the core. The core of the pyramid was made of large blocks of limestone or granite, which were cut and shaped with copper or bronze tools. The blocks were hoisted into place using ramps and pulleys. Casing. The outer casing of the pyramid was made of white limestone, which was finely polished to create a smooth surface. The casing stones were placed over the core of the pyramid, forming a sloping surface that culminated in a point at the top. Interior chambers and passages. The pyramid contained several chambers and passages, including a burial chamber for the pharaoh's sarcophagus, an antechamber, and a serdab, a small room containing a statue of the pharaoh. Finishing touches. The final step involved the placement of a capstone, which was made of solid granite and weighed several tons. The capstone was lifted to the top of the pyramid using a system of levers and pulleys. The construction of a pyramid could take decades to complete and required an enormous amount of resources and manpower. Despite the challenges involved, the ancient Egyptians were able to create some of the most impressive architectural feats in history. Technology and tools used in building pyramids. The construction of the pyramids required advanced knowledge of mathematics, engineering, and architecture, as well as sophisticated tools and technologies. Some of the tools and techniques used in building the pyramids included copper chisels and stone tools. The ancient Egyptians used copper chisels and stone tools to cut and shape the blocks of limestone and granite used in the construction of the pyramids. The copper chisels were used for finer work, while the stone tools were used for rough shaping. Wooden sledges. Large blocks of stone were transported from quarries to the construction site using wooden sledges pulled by teams of oxen. Ramps and levers. The construction of the pyramids required the use of ramps and levers to lift and move heavy blocks of stone. The ramps were constructed of mud brick and were used to elevate the blocks to the required height. Levers were used to move the blocks into position. Water transport. The Nile River was used to transport building materials from quarries to the construction site. Stone blocks were loaded onto barges and floated downstream to the construction site. Surveying tools. The ancient Egyptians used a variety of surveying tools to ensure that the pyramid was built to precise specifications. These tools included plumb bobs, sighting instruments, and measuring rods. Gypsum plaster. Gypsum plaster was used to smooth the surfaces of the blocks of limestone and granite, creating a polished finish on the exterior of the pyramid. Copper saws. Copper saws were used to cut blocks of stone into precise shapes and sizes. The construction of the pyramids was a remarkable achievement of human engineering and innovation, and the tools and techniques used in their construction continue to be studied and admired today. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe if you have not subscribed yet, and thanks for your lovely comments.